subhanahu wa ta'ala to say al-adhkar until sunrise. Also, the Prophet ﷺ used to pray Salatul Duha. Salatul Duha, the minimum 2 rak'at and the maximum 8 are 8. So you can do 2 or 4 or 6 or 8 in the time of Duha, from sunrise until Dhuhr time, so until close to Dhuhr time. Also, the Prophet ﷺ used to pray the rest of the salawat in jama'ah to do the sunnahs, which is 4 rak'at before Dhuhr, as I mentioned before, and 2 after. And he used to do 2 after Maghrib and 2 after Isha. These are the 12 rak'at that the Prophet ﷺ said if we did it, Allah will reward us house in Jannah for these 12 rak'at. 2 before Fajr, 4 before Dhuhr, 2 after, and 2 after Maghrib, 2 after Isha. Also, the Prophet ﷺ used to pray 4 rak'at before Asr. رحم الله امرأً صلى قبل العصر أربعًا. May Allah bestow His mercy upon the person who prays 4 rak'at before Asr. It's a hadith. So you can do 4 rak'at before Asr. It's not part of the 12 rak'at that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, but it's different sunnah that you can do also. So the Prophet ﷺ also he used to recite the Quran in the night prayers. He recites in the night prayer his word from the Quran. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He used to give charity and to help people. So inshallah, if you put that plan from now and you try to increase your ability to do gradually, inshallah you will be in very good condition.
Shaykh, when fasting, do you have to take a gap in between, or can you just fast as many days in Shaban as you want? Do you have to stop in the middle with a gap?
Middle of what, Shaban?
No, I mean in the sense that if I want to fast a whole week, do I have to take one day as a break, or can I just keep fasting?
No, you can fast as much as you're able. But do not complete Shaban. Because the correct understanding that the Prophet did not complete Shaban. He never completed month except Ramadan. But he used to fast most of Shaban. So most of Shaban, it means any amount of days, but do not complete the month. It's good to fast a lot in Shaban, because as I said, your righteous deeds is reviewed by Allah, and the Prophet advised us to be fasting while our deeds are reviewed by Allah, and at the same time we are preparing ourselves for Ramadan. So as much as we're able, inshallah.
Yeah. And I think their sister might be sisters, so inshallah after the talk if you can
if there is a question.
if there's
Say again?
There are certain times during the day where you are forbidden to pray.
Certain time that you are forbidden to pray. Some scholars said that, but the majority of the scholars said there is no forbidden. It's disliked, but not forbidden. Disliked, which is before sunrise and before sunset. Before sunrise and before sunset. So the Prophet advised us not to pray after Fajr prayer and not to pray after Asr prayer until Maghrib. Not to pray after Fajr prayer until sunrise, and not to pray after Asr until Maghrib, and also the 15-20 minutes that before Dhuhr prayer. The 15-20 minutes that before Az-Zawal, which is that before Adhan al-Dhuhr. Because this is the time that people worship the sun. So the Prophet ﷺ does not want us to pray in the same time, so disbelievers will think that you are worshipping the sun too. So you do your sunnah before Fajr and no sunnah after. Right? And do not make your sunnah for Dhuhr before the Adhan. You wait until the Adhan. And also don't make your Duha prayer in the 15 or 20 minutes that before Salat al-Dhuhr. You need to do it early. If you have time from يعني 10-15 minutes after sunrise until 10-15 minutes to Salat al-Dhuhr. You have all this time for Salat al-Dhuhr. But you can pray in this like time or makruh, the time that the salah is makruha. You can pray the obligated prayer if you didn't do it. Let's say somebody slept after Salat al-Dhuhr and he woke up just half an hour before sunset. He did not pray Asr, so you pray Asr, right? Some people, unfortunately, if he found himself 15 minutes for sunset, it's haram to pray now, so he delayed Asr until after Maghrib. Now he committed major sin by delaying Asr to after Maghrib. No, if it's obligated prayer, you must do it immediately. Also, you can do what we call as-salah to that as-sabab. If it's a prayer that has reason, like what? Somebody came to the masjid without praying, or he didn't pray his sunnah of Salat al-Fajr, and he found the imam established jama'ah, or started the jama'ah, and he prayed with him. And if he wanted to make his sunnah after Fajr, he can, as an exception, because he lost it before. He lost the time for it, so he can make it up after Salat al-Fajr. What is the proof of that? Because we need to speak with proof. Because Imam Hanifa will disagree with us when we say that. So we need to prove why the majority of scholars said that. There is a narration that one of the companions came to Salat al-Fajr and he found the Salah is finished. The Prophet finished the Salah, made his tasleem. So the Prophet ﷺ looked at the Muslims, the companions, and he said to them, "Man yatasaddaq ala akhikum?" Who can donate for his brother? So one of them stood up, understood what the Prophet ﷺ meant. The Prophet ﷺ was asking for somebody to pray with him to make his salah jama'ah too. So one of the companions stood up and prayed with this companion who came late. So now the one who stood up to pray, he prayed after Fajr. He finished his Fajr prayer, right? And it's not obligatory prayer for him. He was making this nafil to help his Muslim brother to pray jama'ah. So it's a proof that you can pray after Salat al-Fajr, and this dislike the time if there is reason for that. Like if you missed your sunnah, you didn't get a chance to pray your sunnah before Fajr, you can do it after. Or if you wanted to pray with Muslim brother who came late to make his Salat Jama'ah. Or for instance, somebody want to make decision and you want to pray istikhara. He cannot delay. He need to make decision right now. Imagine after Salat al-Fajr, you got a phone call, somebody told you, let me know, you want to do this or not. Answer me now. You can tell him, just give me 5 minutes, and you pray your istikhara and answer. Because you have reason for that. You can do it even after Fajr or after Asr or something like that.
So if somebody walks into the masjid 10 minutes before sunset, can they pray Tahiyatul Masjid, or you sit and don't pray Tahiyatul Masjid?
This is salah that has reason. As we mentioned, you cannot make general nafil. No, general nawafil, you can't. But if the salah has reason, you pray. So now if somebody entered the masjid, what the Prophet said, إِذَا دَخَلَ أَحَدُكُمْ الْمَسْجِدِ فَلَا يَجْلِسْ حَتَّى يُصَلِّيَ رَكْعَتَيْنِ. If one of you entered the masjid, do not sit down until you pray 2 rak'ahs. The Prophet said, don't sit down until you pray 2 rak'ahs. So you need 2 rak'ahs to be able to sit down. So if you wanted to sit down, you pray 2 rak'ahs. Because the Prophet said that, right before you sit down. Right? Or, don't sit down. If you do not want to pray, do not sit down. Or, pray and sit down. So this salah has reason to be done in this time. You can make salah if it has reason. But don't make salah as general nafil.
Did the Prophet do anything in particular or did he instruct us to do anything in particular with kids in terms of tarbiyah
If your kids are reached the age of puberty, so the fasting Ramadan is obligation upon them. They are men, ladies, so you need to help them to do all the obligations. But if your kids under the age of puberty and the fasting is not obligatory upon them, so you also should encourage them to fast and encourage them to participate in all kind of worship in Ramadan. The companions used to ask their kids to fast even in the first 10 days of Muharram, even when it is Yawm Arafah, and if any fasting, even if it's not obligation. And they used to bring toys for them to play. They bring toys for them to play. So the instruction of the Prophet to train and to prepare your son in the early years. One of the hadith, علموا أولادكم الصلاة وهم أبناء 7 واضربوهم عليها وهم أبناء 10 وفرقوا بينهم في المضاجع. So Prophet ﷺ instructed us to teach our kids to pray the 5 prayers from the age of 7, right? And at the age of 10, we will discipline them, right? We may punish if they didn't do it. And as you know, 10 years, most of the boys, if not all of them, did not reach the age of puberty yet. But that means before the age of puberty, you need to train your son and to make sure that he's doing it good and he's ready for what is obligation upon him. So also in fasting, so you need to teach your son to fast. If he's 7, if he's 8, if he's 9, encourage him, bring a gift for him, allow him to play while fasting more, just to keep him busy with something to continue his day. Bring him to Taraweeh, and reward him if he did good. It's a training session to help him to be able to fulfill his obligations when it's time for that.
Shaykh, for istikhara, do you pray it when you're confused and you haven't decided what to do, or do you make a decision and then you pray istikhara?
No, you make istikhara, then you pray istikhara, then you make decision. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا هَمَّ أَحَدُكُمْ بِالْأَمْرِ فليركع ركعتين من دون الفريضة ثم ليقل اللهم إني أستخيرك بعلمك وأستقدرك بقدرتك, to the end of the supplication, or to the end of the dua. So the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا هَمَّ أَحَدُكُمْ بِالْأَمْرِ, if you wanted to do something, so you pray first, then make decision and do it. So let's say somebody offered you a job. You don't know to accept or not. So you make the 2 rak'ahs, then you make decision and go for the job. I don't know to travel or not, so I pray the 2 rak'ahs, then I go to buy the ticket and to prepare myself to take the means. If Allah wanted you to go, He will make it easy. If He does not, He will stop. But you start with the 2 rak'ah. Then you decide.
And did the Sahaba, did they do it for everything? Like what, for the big things, job and stuff, yeah, but for, if I want to visit my family today, should I pray?
No. You know why? Because you don't do it for something obligatory, and you don't do it for something preferable. You don't do it for something disliked. You don't do it for something haram. You only do it when it's 50-50, when you don't know. Now, if something is obligation, you cannot pray istikhara to fulfill your obligation, right? If something, Sharia of Islam told you it's something like, something preferable, something suggested, so you don't pray for that, because the Sharia already answered you, right? If the Sharia said no, it's a hated something, it's disliked, okay, you got an answer from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If He said it's a haram then. When we need to pray, when it's a mubah, when it's permissible, but we don't know if it's better for us or not. So if it's permissible, you pray for it. So visiting family members is something from Salatul Rahim, Already Sharia instructed you to do Salatul Rahim.
And are there any signs that you're supposed to see after praying the 2 rakahs? Some people say you'll see signs
There is
or
no
in a
evidence.
dream or something.
There is no evidence to prove that it's required or you must see something. But let's say if you pray and you saw something in your dream, alhamdulillah, from Allah. But maybe when you pray, you feel comfortable, you have a new feeling inside you that makes you want to do it. It's okay, it's a gift from Allah. But the sunnah is to pray and to take the means. For instance, you don't know to marry this lady or not. Pray the istikhara and go ask for her hand. And let Allah decide. You don't know to work in this field or not, do the istikhara and put the application. And let Allah to decide for you. Right? So, you do the istikhara and you take the means. But if you saw sign from Allah, it's a gift from Allah. If you didn't, it is not required. It is not required.
So after Ramadan or during Ramadan, most of us get iman high, like we get very iman boost. So I was just wondering, what are some ways to maintain like half of the level of the iman that we attain during Ramadan throughout the year after Ramadan? So how can we maintain half of the level of iman that we get?
Well, we said if you prepared yourself for Ramadan, before Ramadan, and you did good during Ramadan, and Allah accepted your effort, you will find yourself after Ramadan as you are in Ramadan, or as you was in Ramadan. Right? So if there's a big drop very quickly, then there's something wrong with your effort in Ramadan.
So what are some ways to rectify that?
Well, as I told you, if you prepared yourself for Ramadan, prepared your intention, you prepared your heart, you trained yourself gradually, you will be successful, inshallah. You will enjoy your worship, you will achieve your goal, inshallah, and you will find yourself after Ramadan as you are in Ramadan, as you was in Ramadan. But if you did not prepare yourself, the problem of every year, in the first day of Ramadan, you are encouraged, but it's no time to prepare, right? Well, you will open the Quran and you are reading, but you didn't find your heart. Your heart's not ready. You are fasting, right? But you're not getting the lessons. You are here in the Taraweeh, but you're not enjoying the Salah. Maybe you're enjoying the voice of the reciter, but not the Quran. You don't have the khushu'ah. Or maybe you are bored, because you are not ready. So the most important thing is to get ready. And I remember in this masjid I mentioned something before about the gym situation. So brothers were talking about this, and I found it a good example. If somebody like us, we don't go to a gym, we don't exercise at home. Imagine you invited me now to go with you to the gym, and I see brothers lifting heavy weight, right? I'm not going to be able to do like them. If I would try to do like them, I would break myself, right? If there is any instructor, he will tell me, listen, don't do like them. Just start little by little, right? He may give me a small chip or something, and he will tell me do like this and do like that. Because I'm a baby there, right? In the beginning. But if I will go every day, and I will increase the weight that I'm lifting, and 3-4 weeks, I will be okay, right? No sore, and I will be like them, ready. But if I, from the first day, started to do like them, I'll break myself, right? Also in worship, it's like that. Before Ramadan, you need to start to train yourself, because unfortunately, you're not doing it the entire year. If you are doing it every day, the entire year, you are ready always. But unfortunately, after Ramadan, we are not doing anything. No night prayer. We don't recite in the Quran. Unfortunately, we're not doing Azkar on time. One day yes and one day no, and we're not stable. So now, another chance. Try again. But before Ramadan, put your schedule for Ramadan from now. Start to recite every single day. Try to understand what you are reciting. Try to do your Salah and Jama'ah. Try to do your Sunnahs. Try to do your Adhkar next time after Salat al-Fajr, after Salat al-Asr. If you missed it, make it up. Okay? And try to increase your level. and train your heart for khushu'. So in the first day of Ramadan, you are ready, able to do what everybody else is doing. And inshallah, if you will do that every day in Ramadan, for the sake of Allah, pay attention to iman and ihtisab. Whatever you do in Ramadan, it must be imanan wa ihtisaban. Man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban. Man qama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban. So whoever fasted in Ramadan or prayed the night prayer in Ramadan, it must be believing in Allah and His revelation and His reward. Ihtisaban, it means to seek the reward of Allah for what you are doing. To seek the reward of Allah only from Allah. To do every act of worship, believing in Allah and His revelation, and seeking His reward for that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So inshallah, if you are doing that every day, you will get out of Ramadan, graduated from the school of Ramadan with a certification of acceptance. Imagine somebody went to medical school, spent a lot of money. One of our brothers just graduated from medical school, and somebody told him, "Can you give me this certificate and I'll take a picture with it?" He said, "Listen, man, we paid $250,000 in this piece of paper." Right? So he spent a lot of money, and he did put a huge effort, right? Imagine after he finished medical school, he decided to work a cab driver. Make sense? So if you work it hard in Ramadan to achieve taqwa, and to achieve sincerity, and to have a sound heart, and after all that, you will leave that and go back to do reckless things? No, you are graduated from the school of taqwa, right? So you need to be muttaqi every day. It's a training session. Prepare before Ramadan and try to achieve your goal to be muttaqi, pious person, and to keep like that after Ramadan. Because you are graduated from the school of taqwa. But if somebody failed, he didn't get the certificate, you need to try again. But maybe we have this chance in this Ramadan, but we are not. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped us to be in Ramadan, because we don't know, maybe some of us will die one day before.